Good morning. Oh, I love the energy in this room. Welcome to Lattice Developers Conference. Thank you for the 6,000 of you who have registered to attend in person or online. It's a very exciting day, 2 days for our developers. You're one of our key constituents. And I had the privilege to visit many of you over the past few weeks, as well as our customers and employees worldwide. And I'm blown away by your talent. Your success is our success. And we're very committed to you and your success, and we look forward to the next 2 days together. It's an exciting time to be in the FPGA market. And I'm going to show you over the next 3 slides why FPGAs are everywhere, demand is growing fast, and FPGAs are special. And Lattice, with our small to mid-range FPGA, is growing faster than the market because we're focused on the right products, the right application, right strategy, with the right team and right partners. And this will allow you, our developers, to develop differentiated solutions for our customers and our joint customers to provide benefits, time to market, and allow our customers to be successful. So first, as I said, FPGAs are everywhere. Over the past few weeks, it was great to visit quite a few applications and customers across many of these market segments, from industrial to automotive, communication, computer, consumers, and many more. I witnessed robots power themselves up and autonomously train themselves, and then line themselves up in a line of 10 to quote-unquote graduate before being shipped to their final destination. I witnessed large-scale, tens of thousands of sensors, factory automation that really looks like a data center from sensor to cloud. I've seen innovation in traditional and AI servers, where our FPGAs sit next to CPU, GPU, NIC card, storage, switches, you name it. I've seen application of edge AI in client laptops, as well as automotive. And many more really exciting applications, from broadcast to test and measurement to medical to aerospace and defense. So very exciting set of applications. Number one, FPGAs are everywhere. Number two, demand is growing. This is data from IHS on our own public market, for our own Lattice data. And as you can see here, the FPGA market is growing faster than the semiconductor market. But Lattice is expected over the next few years to grow even faster because of our focus on the right products. 11,000 customers available to you. We got 55,000 developers worldwide. We ship 250 million units a year, providing you a fantastic platform for your applications. And we're committed to you, our partners. We've grown our ecosystem partner 6x over the past 6 years. In fact, over the course of today, this afternoon, you'll be able to witness 90 demonstrations from all of you in this room. Please visit the show floor. It's an exciting set of demonstrations that you should be able to see. And finally, FPGAs are special, and Lattice are even more special. And what you're going to hear today from us at product keynotes, you'll hear from a variety of guest speakers. We're very appreciative to be here about why our FPGAs are special. We're committed to low power. Low power is going to be the key building block which we're going to be focused on and building our roadmap on. Again, low power programmable leader. That's what we're focused on. We're talking about milliwatts next to your sensor, next to your large devices, between analog and digital, bridging, I/O expansion. Second, small size. You can't really fit in a laptop or near an IoT device unless you've got the small size. And we're talking about really small size, as you know. It's a perfect solution for edge AI, and you'll see us over the next couple of days talk about 3 different factors, edge AI being one of them, security being the second one of them. Edge AI will allow you to differentiate and add value to our joint customer. Security is going to be pervasive across all our platforms. And finally, we're committed to provide soft IP, tools, workloads, and solutions to provide ease of use to you, time to market, and benefits to our joint customers. So everywhere, demand growing fast, special offerings. And what this, as you know well, is evidenced by us rolling to you 2 new platforms over the past 5 years. First platform for small FPGA, introduced first in 2019, Nexus. 8 device families in that platform. We're really looking forward to this growing really fast in 2025 across the many, many designs that Nexus has with all of you today. And the second platform, Avant, for the mid-range, where, again, 3 device families over the past couple of years and more to come. And you'll hear today a lot of details about some of these and improvements we've made for both of these. Where are they getting adopted? Well, they're getting adopted in top-tier customers worldwide. So top servers, top communication, industrial, automotive, consumer, and from cloud, from sensor to cloud. And very exciting names, as you can see here, and a great market for both of us to serve. It would not be a developer conference if we did not announce a new product. And so today is very exciting for me to have the privilege to announce our new platform for, oops, and I dropped the chip. And here it is, it's so small, Nexus 2, ladies and gentlemen. And you can barely see it because it's 9 by 11 millimeters, less than a centimeter square, less than 1 centimeter square, Nexus 2. You'll hear today from Dan Mansour about the details of this exciting new platform. Again, building on the same differentiation that we said we're going to be focused on, low power, small size, ease of use for edge AI, security, and connectivity. And I saved that chip. So through the course of today and tomorrow, you'll have many keynotes focused on 3 pillars: edge AI, connectivity, security. When we talk about edge AI, I want to make sure these are not the large cloud models. These are not inference chip. These are those cloud and inference chip are what our big partners like NVIDIA and AWS and other AI accelerators do. We focus on intelligence in the FPGAs already on the board. You already are designing us in to do bridging. You're already designing us in to do I/O expansion, security, whatever the control, data pass, any of the application you're designing us anyhow. And we're sitting near sensor, and you've got some free gates. And so why not have some tiny AI model run in this to do pre-processing to support that AI accelerator and provide even more contextual and benefit to our joint customers. So that's the idea. You're going to hear us over the next few days talk about many of these workloads. A lot of the 90 demos on the show floor today are going to show some of these edge AI applications. And we'd like to ask all of you to develop some of these workloads for our joint customers. So that's an exciting area for us. The staple of FPGA is connectivity. So you're going to see us very focused to continue to add connectivity across all the protocols from Ethernet, MIPI, USB, PCIe, to all the various types of sensors, camera, LiDAR, radar, pressure, thermal, motor control, display, you name it. And security is going to be a very key and important aspect. Security, to me, is the ultimate application where the requirements keep changing and the bad actors keep trying to move. And FPGA actually allow you to move faster than these bad actors. And some of these applications where requirements keep changing are perfect example of where we could deliver some value together. Digging into edge AI, you could see we're being used across industrial, automotive, comms, compute, consumer, in a variety of various applications. And here, when we talk about edge AI, we're talking about milliwatts of power. We're talking about low and deterministic latency in the milliseconds. We're talking about high performance because FPGAs are good at programmable processing. We're talking about small size. As you heard, you saw the Nexus 2 device, less than 1 centimeter square. We're talking about contextual AI. So this AI is actually sitting next to these sensors and providing intelligence in that context. And you'll hear today from our guest speakers at Dell about this contextual AI. So this is where we'll be focused on as far as AI at the edge. So those are the companies that are going to be presenting and at the demonstration today. Very exciting name. Thank you very much for traveling from around the globe to be with us today. And we have exciting guest keynote presentation. Bharat Pilili, principal engineer at Microsoft, has been in the server business for the past 20 years, and he'll discuss security in the AI server. Sebastian Pasteur at SICK, the leader in automation and sensor, 25 years in the LiDAR market, will discuss automation and sensor. Mike Walder, VP of Emerging Product Management at Teledyne FLIR, with extensive experience in industrial and automotive, will discuss cameras in automotive for braking systems. And then Karun Reddy already gave a bit of a preview on the contextual AI. We'll discuss AI as it relates to computer vision and clients. Karun has been 29 years in the PC industry. So thank you to the four of you for being with us today. And there's more. So beyond Nexus 2, which you'll hear more detail from Dan Mansour today, we're going to have extension to our Avant product family, and Issam El Ashmawi will come up to discuss the new Avant as well as the new features we have in our solutions and tools. So new extensions in Radiant and Propel on the tool side, and new extension on our solution on the Automate, Drive, Envision, and SenseAI side. And so I'm going to turn over this to Issam to talk about, as I said, Avant, and then Dan will come up to discuss Nexus 2. Have a great day. Really looking forward to spending time with all of you over the next couple of days. Issam?
How's everyone doing today? Great. So you can tell that Ford has a lot of passion for innovation. And I've been working with Ford now for a while, and I can tell you he's got a deep appreciation for developers as well. Now, this FPGA conference is really about all of us getting together, developers, the ecosystem, and it's about sharing our tips and tricks and best practice of how to get the most out of your FPGA. And you heard earlier that we had over 6,000 registrants this year for this conference, and that's incredible. That's actually 1,000 more than what we had last year. And to me, that's an indication that the usage of FPGAs is increasing, the number of customers around FPGAs is increasing, and the ecosystem is continuing to grow around FPGAs. And that's why we're here. But some of you may be new to the Lattice story. So I want to spend some time talking about the FPGA mid-range momentum within Lattice. And this journey started 2 years ago. We launched the Lattice Avant platform 2 years ago. And why we launched it was because you told us, hey, Lattice, I need a power-efficient architecture for my mid-range FPGA applications. So we did that. We took our 4-input LUT architecture, and we gave you an FPGA that was 2.5 times lower in power. And that's significant when comparing to comparable FPGAs that are in the market. And then you came and said, but we also not just need the low power efficiency, but our next generation applications needs higher connectivity speeds and bandwidth. So we added advanced connectivity into this platform, and we gave you twice the bandwidth compared to comparable FPGAs that were out there. And together, when we looked at your application, we said, well, we need also to optimize the compute capabilities, whether it be for security, edge AI, or other compute functions. And we did that. We did that in this platform. And then we took all that goodness, the power efficiency, the advanced connectivity, and the optimized compute, And what do? We compacted that into a form factor that's 6 times smaller than comparable FPGAs that are out there. And why? Because you told us your products that you're building are becoming more advanced, you're adding more electrification, and you're now board constrained. So we made that 6 times smaller. And I want to give kudos to the Lattice development team, the R&D team, for their innovation to be able to bring this platform out 2 years ago. Now, since that 2 years ago when we launched this platform, we now have in the market 3 distinct device families that are available. These are available today. And these are device families that are optimized for edge-optimized low-power applications all the way to advanced connectivity FPGAs, such as our Avant X family. And what we've done in each of these device families is we've tuned them from a feature set and packaging options so that we can optimize to give you the right FPGA for your applications in communications, compute, industrial, and automotive. And you helped us define the feature sets in these products, and we thank you for that. And what I'm happy to announce today is that we're actually expanding the device options within our mid-range family. And so we've launched today our Avant 30 and our Avant 50. And what those do is they provide you more LUT capacity options and package options tuned for the applications that you're building today. And by launch, what do I mean? We've actually already we've had an early access program, and some of the silicon has already been shipped to customers, and you're going to hear from a few of those customers today that are actually designing with these new products that are now publicly available to everyone else. And these were tuned for your applications, whether it be around control applications, data path applications, edge AI, security, and others as well. So we're really excited to have these now in the market, giving you more optionality. But in one of the things that I wanted to talk a little bit more detail about is around edge AI. And what are we seeing around edge AI? In our conversations together over the past year, we talked a lot about how do we make our systems more intelligent. We're all talking about how do we make systems more intelligent? Well, you make it more intelligent by adding workloads to your systems. And those workloads could be around preventive maintenance, could be around object detection, gaze detection, and others. You implement those workloads, your systems become more intelligent. But where does that intelligence start? It starts with sensors. You got to collect the data. And what FPGAs are really good at, it's around sensor fusion, sensor aggregation. In today's applications and over the past few years, we've been putting our FPGAs right beside sensors, and you're going to hear more about that. You're going to hear more of that from our guest speakers, whether it be SICK that talks about marrying FPGAs with sensors, Teledyne FLIR on thermal cameras, or even with Dell and what they're doing on contextual AI. And so if FPGAs are already there aggregating sensors, doing sensor fusion, then how much more difficult is it to just add the workloads and make our systems intelligent? That's what many of you are doing today. I'm going to encourage the rest of you to follow and do the same. And my call to action to the ecosystem is to continue to work with Lattice, and together, let's build more workloads to make it easier for the industry to make our systems more intelligent. But edge AI isn't the only reason why customers are moving into production with Avant today. In fact, at our tech demo room, there's 90 technology demonstrations around FPGAs. Many of those are mid-range FPGAs as well. And there's also going to be a wall of boards that you'll see of companies that are taking their Avant products into production. And they're tier 1 companies that you're familiar with, but also they're up-and-coming companies that have really innovative solutions. Avalanche Technologies, as an example. Avalanche Technologies is an example with their array of MRAMs and leveraging mid-range FPGAs for control, for compute-type applications. But we're also working with other up-and-coming companies like Raptor Engineering that's taken mid-range FPGAs, and they're actually producing BMC solutions for the server market. There's a lot of innovation going on, and people are starting to use mid-range FPGAs in applications they did not think about before. And that's really exciting. And it's not just because of edge AI, it's because of the low power, the small size, the fast boot, and the security capabilities with Lattice portfolio around our mid-range FPGAs. Now, you've heard from me talk about the momentum of FPGAs, especially our mid-range. Now what I'd like to do is like to welcome on stage Masoud Asadi, system architect from Ericsson.
Thank you, Assam.
Thank you, Masoud. I'm glad you're joining us. By the way, Masoud traveled from overseas to be with us today, so thank you. Hopefully the jet lag isn't too bad. But for those of you that aren't familiar with Ericsson, I assume you are, Ericsson is an innovator and leader in bringing broadband mobile technology to our industry. And Masoud is actually a thought leader in our industry around how do you secure that mobile broadband technology. And that's really important for all of us. And so what I'd like, Masoud, if you can share with your peers a little about your team, yourself, what you do, the challenges you face, and why a mid-range FPGA from Lattice.
Sure. First and foremost, I would like to thank you, Assam, and the entire Lattice team to inviting me, especially actually the security team. Thanks a lot for taking care of me. I'm really happy to join this DevCon with a new product as well. It's very, very exciting. When it comes to Ericsson, Ericsson operates at this intersection of connectivity and security. You can actually have connectivity without security, right? And user data, like your user data and my user data, should be protected. When it comes to the classic way of handling telecom classified as mission-critical network, it was majority of actually requirement coming from different standardization bodies like 3GPP, nowadays, ORAN and other type of kind of standardization bodies. In this environment, now different demands actually pressing kind of more than ever. For example, I guess all of you actually heard about NIST. We are in kind of US, and when I talk about CNS 2.0, just mentioning from the US government point of view, same goes for European, and I'm from Sweden. So they're pushing very hard to have all those requirements in place. So security regulations is very, very important. And when I talk about PQC, Google mentioned something about quantum computers, I think published yesterday. I mean, this might be a reality. So far, it's saying that this is imagination and you can just doing the preparation step. But I think this is knocking on the door. We need to be prepared for that. But, real-time resiliency, as mentioned as well, low power, even though you're doing very good, encryption, you cannot just do it without actually considering other aspects. And to some extent, it's not really in the same kind of edge. If you do encryption, you need power, but you cannot just kind of consume all power. You need to be kind of in the safe side when it comes to this as well, because this is part of regulatory requirements as well. But though, these demands, it's not easy to fulfill, and I don't think so that a single company can make it alone, and that's why we have actually good kind of partner like Lattice, and we are using different vendors. Lattice is one of those, and I'm very happy to actually collaborate with the team. I think Lattice as a company, this is my kind of personal experience, but my team actually shared this with me. It's not just about delivering kind of good solutions, good security solutions, and future-proof solution. This is also about the capability to listen to your customers' needs. And I have very, very good experience about that. You're doing this, Lattice, as a company, and I would just emphasize that you're doing this very well. It doesn't mean that you fulfill all requirements. It's not reasonable. But listening is very, very important part, because in the security, stuff changes very quickly. You see what's happening around the world, and it could actually change. Now regulators in Europe actually change when it comes to PQC, their kind of demands, and something that definitely needs to be considered. That's stuff that, those challenges that what we have. But I would like also emphasize with the new products that Lattice, actually you guys actually doing, you're addressing those demands that prepare kind of baseline to be, that Ericsson can be able as a company to be able to satisfy those requirements that coming all the time, the challenges, stuff like, crypto agility. We have discussed a lot about how to do PQC. Hybrid PQC is now very, very important for some markets. And low latency, low power. Thanks a lot for all good things that you're doing. And I'm very, very happy to be part of the DEF CON and follow the progress of actually the new products. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Masood. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Masood brings up a good point. As a thought leader in the industry and a partner to Lattice, it's not just about the products we're building today. It's instrumental, the relationship between Lattice and Ericsson, and how we define future generations of FPGAs as well to meet the needs of security in the future. So thank you, Masood. I really appreciate that. Now, I'd like to welcome on stage with me Kevin Schultz from NI.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, for joining us. NI, if you don't know, is an Emerson company now. Yeah. Kevin and his team at NI revolutionized the software to hardware connectivity of test and measurement equipment. And Kevin, you've been in industry for a very long time. Your team has really made it easy, and you've advanced the industry around test and measurement. And we all know our industry would not be what it is, nor would other industries be what they are without test and measurement. So I thank you for that. And it would be nice if you can share with some of your peers as well a little bit about yourself, your team, the challenges, and why the Avant platform.
Wonderful. When you say a long time, I have to start with my first design 34 years ago used 18 CPLDs from Lattice. So they don't let me design anymore. But I did want to talk about it. If you look at our company, we sell to 30,000 different companies. We sell in the semiconductor, the automotive, the transportation, manufacturing, many different industries. And our offering is really 200 to 300 different I/O products. These products go from, DC to RF 54 gigahertz. And if you look at a design, the key aspect is, the front end is obviously has ADCs and DACs typically with SerDes on it. We want to buffer the data with DDR4 memory. We go back to our proprietary ASICs. On the other side, we have synchronization and timing. So no matter what platform you're on, we get tight synchronization. And that mid-size FPGA is crucial to us. And obviously, of course, we need that in low power, low cost, small footprint, like every other company in the world. And the Avant E30 is one we've been using in some of our new designs because it really fits that. We get the SerDes capabilities, we get the DDR4 capabilities, we get 3.3 volt I/O. We get that interface that we need in LVDS in the front end. And then we can also use your MMCN, your mixed mode clock module to do closed timing or, lock to the 100 megahertz SPI clock, for example. So all that capabilities with the LUT cells that you have really is a great fit for us and gives us a lot of capabilities in scaling our offerings across the board. So I really want to thank you, and obviously you've been a great company to work with.
Thank you, Kevin. Industrial is a key market for us. And those CPLDs that you design with, I wouldn't be surprised if Lattice is still supporting those. We really believe in longevity for our customers. It's really important to have supply assurance as well. Next, I'd like to welcome on stage John de Baudrier to join me from MKS. How are you doing? So John also traveled from overseas to be with us today.
Exactly.
For those who are not familiar with MKS, they make the impossible possible. They actually enable lots of industries that we depend on. Their technology enables artificial intelligence, 5G, augmented reality, autonomous vehicles. And John and his team actually lead in many aspects of that as well. So John, it would be nice if you could share with your peers as well a little bit about yourself, your team, the challenges, and why a mid-range FPGA?
Sure. I like when you say make the impossible possible. It's actually quite true. I'm new to this industry, to this semiconductor industry, and the challenge is marvelous. I mean, this is very nice. Yeah, MKS. Let's talk a little bit about MKS Instruments. So MKS Instruments is a large industry. It's a large company that provides solution, especially for semiconductor manufacturing and packaging. And this is a very challenging industry, very specific industry. It provides a broad range of solutions from chemistry to mechanical systems. And the division I'm usually part of is developing this motion system, this mechanical system. So we're building, developing moving stage with multiple degrees of freedom, very high velocity, high load, and most of all, sub-micron accuracy. Yeah. So we need to make heavy moving system with a precision under the micron, couple of dozen of nanometers. So this is very high challenge, and this is key for semiconductor wafer manufacturing, inspection, and advanced packaging of electronics. And to control that, we have a huge challenge. So I'm leading the electronics, so the controllers to do that, and we have a very big challenge to face for that. So obviously, our big challenge is to implement servo loop, so multiple degrees of freedom, multiple axis servo loop with this accuracy and this performance. So we have to integrate these servo loops, and we had to face this challenge to integrate these servo loops. Why did we go for the Avant family from Lattice? Very simple. We were looking for the key to the technical key for us is to have multiple logic cells, a lot of logic cells and DSPs to challenge this floating calculation, multiple floating calculation that we have to do. So we needed that. The obvious solution would be high-range FPGAs, obviously. But actually, we found the solution for our set of specification in the Lattice Avant products. The second main reason why we went for this family is it's probably the best price-performance trade-off regarding our expectation. And the cost of other high-range other solution was nothing comparable with what Lattice is able to provide without the Avant family. And the last one is not the least one, actually, is the technical support we can get from Lattice. So we have very good experience with the supporting team, expertise, quick response from your development teams. So we are able to develop, adjust together our products to get the controller in the market. So we will integrate this Lattice Avant in our next generation controllers for the semiconductors.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I'd like to thank Masoud, Kevin, and John for sharing some of their experiences around Lattice. And there was a common theme that all of them talked about, actually, that I want to emphasize a bit more. Lattice differentiation isn't just around our products and software and solutions. We intentionally ensure that our differentiation is about how we work with our customers as well. Because for us, that's very, very important, and how we work with our customers. Because you also help us define the next generation FPGAs that we need to bring out to the market as well. And I also want to emphasize a proof point of why we're having this developers conference. This developers conference, again, is a way that Lattice is investing in the ecosystem and in you to be able to get the most out of your FPGA. We've got some exciting keynotes, we've got the tech demo room, and we've got a lot of papers that are being presented both from customers, partners, as well as Lattice employees. Finally, I want to thank all the customers that we're currently engaged with that are building their next generation products on Avant. We're working with a lot of you, helping you get to market, and we're really excited about the different types of applications and innovation that's happening in the industry. With that, I'd like to shift it over to hear a little bit about what's happening with Lattice around our small FPGA portfolio. And with that, I'd like to invite on stage Dan Mansour, our Corporate Vice President of Marketing and Product Planning.
It's great to hear about all the good design with Avant. And what I'd like to share with you is the small FPGA. The small FPGA is the heart of Lattice. It's one of our highest volumes. On average, we ship 250 million units. That's 250 million units per year. And it's something that's everywhere. You'll find it every day in your life. So what I want to start with is actually Nexus 2. We have shipped 8 families to date in the last few years. That's 38 actual devices. By the end of next year, we'll actually have 50 devices. That's a 30% increase. So we see customers continuing with Nexus for a long amount of time. Now, why Nexus? So low power, and you'll hear that a lot. Milliwatts, milliamps. We have a lot of sleep modes on it, a lot of opportunity to do low-power designs. Next, really, is the performance. You heard last Developers Conference, NVIDIA had talked about MIPI and connecting MIPI to Jensen, and we showed that last year. Today, at the Developers Conference, you can see 5 or 6 different platforms that actually show that MIPI performance and how that high performance gets into things like a compute complex of NVIDIA. Next, reliability, 2 orders of magnitude. It's 100x for immune to soft error rates. They're particularly bad up at high elevation, so when you fly home, you're likely going to be on a Lattice plane, or not, plane with the Lattice in it, as well as in space. And lastly, advanced security. You heard about it from Masood. They've used Nexus and Avant. It's great to work with customers in multiple generations where they've actually evolved the algorithms together, and we've developed that IP together. You also heard last year from Meta and the hyperscales, and you'll hear shortly here from Microsoft and the hyperscalers for security. So security is absolutely important. Most of our customers, we've been on multiple generations for security. Okay, so the journey from Nexus, some customers really want to stay with Nexus, and it makes a lot of sense for many years. But there's some things we heard from customers going to Nexus 2 the last couple of years. When we listen to our customers, there's really 3 buckets that I found we needed to change. One's advanced connectivity. As sensors change, we need to change with those sensor connectivities and increase that bandwidth for those higher-end sensors. Now, as we change the bandwidth of the device, we also have to change the power performance a little bit to optimize for that to handle the bandwidth. Then lastly, the leading security. So every time we have an opportunity, we put more crypto engines into our platform to make sure we have the latest crypto platforms. And that leads us to Nexus 2. So I'm going to talk about those 3. We're going to start with advanced connectivity. So we've heard from our customers that the sensors are changing, at least some sensors are changing and moving up in performance, and the value of that edge device is the sensor. So we've added on a new MIPI D-PHY and C-PHY up to almost 8 gig. Now, as we put, and by the way, multiple channels, as we put more bandwidth in, we also have to improve the DRAM or the buffering of those videos, and so we've added LPDDR4. And then also to get it off and back into the cloud, we've integrated higher-end SerDes up to 16 gig SerDes, but this is all in a small FPGA form factor. Now, because we included the bandwidth went up, we had to optimize the power performance. So what we did is with our, once again, our 4-input LUT, we changed the features and the power and optimized for performance. And that gave us a 2x in speed, increased speed in the fabric. And also we have 2x in the DSP, and particularly INT8 for edge AI applications. Then lastly, security again. As we talked about, as you know, the quantum era is coming, we had to change the crypto blocks. We changed them in 2 fashions. One is we put into ASIC all the latest crypto blocks at a particular time, and then we also innovate with using that with crypto agility by putting some assets in the FPGA, and together they give us the best resilience. In addition to that, we're increasing our fortress with the anti-tamper and making that as high as and as modern as possible. Now, what's unique to Lattice is the fast boot time, and that's tightly coupled with flash. And that really gives us the ability to, and as more and more flash coming on board, more and more keys coming on board, to be able to put that together and give really the leading FPGA configuration integrity. Not just when we ship the part, but through its whole life cycle, and be able to update that over time. Not only do we use it for our internal purposes, we also give access to those crypto blocks through an API, so you can use it for data in motion. So, Nexus 2. As our customers have come to expect, we actually have multiple families. So to start off with Certus, which is a general purpose FPGA. There's Crosslink, which has that video connectivity we talked about. And there's Mach, which actually is defined as integrating the flash, particularly for control and security applications. So we want to start off with, and we're launching today, Certus Nexus 2. That's because it has the widest range of applications. Now, what means launch? Launch means that the silicon is available today and shipping to customers. We actually have the tools, and we're going public with all the tools today. And we're also going to have all the software stacks upgraded for you to accelerate your time to market. So let's talk about those in a holistic way. So now it's great because we can take those 3 platforms. You heard about Nexus, Nexus 2, and Avant. And on top of that, we put the software development tools, Radiant and Propel. And on top of that, we put the IP software solutions at the very top for end markets. And it helps us accelerate to market. And we constantly innovate those and come up with new versions of those. So let's kind of start with the development tools. Radiant's our lead development tools, best in class, easy to use. Now we've integrated Nexus 2, of course, as we're releasing that product. We've also done some enhancements in debug. We've also done some enhancements in the power calculator. On Propel is a complementary tool that gives embedded system designers the ability to build subsystems easier and faster, particularly for processors. And we're coming out with 3 new processors, which is for RISC-V, small, medium, large, and gives you the opportunity to optimize whatever your embedded systems are. We'll be talking later with FLIR, where they have integrated a RISC-V. Now, on expanding our software solution stacks. We constantly come out with these through the year. Today, we're announcing 4 new ones. Automate, you'll see several examples of that in the Developers Conference today. Drive, we're talking later with FLIR. We're going to talk about how that's used in automotive and how Nexus is used in automotive, and also Avant's used in automotive. There's mVision, and mVision is great for demos. You'll see a lot of demos showing mVision because they're great to show. And then lastly, Sense AI. Sense AI is used for a lot of edge products. One example is Dell, they'll be talking about later today. So we want to thank all our customers. Absolutely all the feedback we've got in the last 2 years, really we've incorporated into Nexus 2. And that input really gave us the ability to bring out this new product. What I really want to do is I want to focus a little bit more and double click on low power and give you some real examples, performance and small size. So let's start with low power. That is the new currency. There's no doubt that things are getting smaller, more remote, harsher environments, more of the products. And we can show, compared to our competitors, a 3x improvement in power. This is my favorite part of the whole day, because you actually show real demos. So what we did is we went out and we took our part, and we took 2 of our competing parts that are about the same density, that are available in the market today. We show a comparison between those. And with that, I'd like to show you the demo and hand it over to Deepak Papana, Lattice Senior Director of Marketing. Deepak.
Hello, everyone. In this demonstration, we'll measure the power consumption of the Certus N2 FPGA relative to similar FPGAs from other vendors. So the board here has the Certus N2 FPGA from Lattice, the RTX UltraScale Plus FPGA from AMD, and the Cyclone 10GX FPGA from Altera. All of the FPGAs are running the same workload at 60 to 70% resource utilization. So many of the applications for this class of FPGAs typically have Fmax in the 100 to 300 megahertz range. So let's go ahead and adjust the Fmax and see the impact on power consumption. As we can see, at 300 megahertz Fmax, Certus N2 FPGA has up to 2 times lower power consumption than other FPGAs. So let's go ahead and lower the Fmax to 150 megahertz. And we see the Certus N2 FPGA has up to 3 times lower power consumption. And as we lower the Fmax further to 100 megahertz, we see Certus N2 FPGA has up to 4 times lower power consumption than other FPGAs. So as we saw, Certus N2 FPGA on average has up to 3 times lower power consumption than other FPGAs, simplifying thermal management and lowering operating costs. Thank you. Back to you, Dan.
Thank you, Deepak. Resilient security. In just a few minutes, you're going to hear from Microsoft on rooted trust. You just heard from Masood on quantum challenges and putting new quantum blocks in, or new crypto blocks in there and giving crypto agility. We want to protect your data. We want to protect your firmware. We're the first device on, which means we actually have the best opportunity to protect that firmware and usually last off to make sure there's no attacks. And that configuration time we talked about is absolutely critical. You can see here we have a 10x improvement on configuration time. What we'd like to do is show you on the same 3 parts, the same workload, the configuration time on those. So back to you, Deepak.
Hello, everyone. In this demonstration, we'll measure the boot up time of Certus N2 FPGA relative to similar FPGAs from other vendors. So we have the same board here as before with FPGAs from Lattice, AMD, and Altera. All the FPGAs are self-configuring from a single external flash device operating at the maximum speed. So let's go ahead and boot up the Cyclone 10GX FPGA from Altera. As we can see, it takes around 359 milliseconds to boot up. Let's go ahead and configure the RTX UltraScale Plus FPGA from AMD. Takes around 261 milliseconds to boot up. Now let's go ahead and boot up the Certus N2 FPGA from Lattice. It takes only 18 milliseconds to boot up. So as we can see, the Certus N2 FPGA has over 10 times or an order of magnitude faster boot up time than other FPGAs, making it an ideal choice for safety and security critical applications. Thank you. Back to you, Dan.
Thank you, Deepak. That's great. Next, we'd like to talk about edge connectivity challenges. We talked earlier that we've been using our MIPI, and you're actually going to hear quite a few things where they're talking about MIPI and connecting with MIPI. Our next generation gives us a 3x over those same FPGA platforms of performance in MIPI for that connectivity. Now, it's not just the connectivity, we have to also meet those power challenges. So we're going to take what we saw from the first demo on the low power, combine that with the ability to turn and configure very off and on very quickly, and give a total system power. Now, we have millions of units being shipped using these techniques, and these are techniques you can use to lower your power at the very edge. So once again, we're going to go back to you, Deepak.
Hello, everyone. In this demonstration, we'll showcase how the unique combination of low power and fast boot-up performance of Certus N2 FPGAs can be used to significantly lower power consumption relative to similar FPGAs from other vendors. So we have the same board here as before with FPGAs from Lattice, AMD, and Altera. All of the FPGAs are connected over these coax cables to a signal oscilloscope, which is displaying the monitoring rate or the number of times the FPGAs are turning on and off per second. Now, monitoring the sensor data to detect humans or objects is a common edge AI use case for FPGAs. Depending on the sensitivity and latency needs, the output of the sensors can be monitored at a relatively lower rate, such as in AI PCs, or at a relatively faster rate in more safety and security critical applications like autonomous robots. So let's go ahead and adjust the monitoring rate and see the impact on power consumption. As we can see, at a monitoring rate of 10 times per second, Certus N2 FPGA has up to 6 times lower power consumption. As we continue to lower the monitoring rate, we see the Certus N2 FPGA has up to 7 times, 9 times, and even 14 times lower power consumption than other FPGAs. So as we saw, this unique combination of low power and fast boot-up features of Certus N2 FPGAs can be used to achieve, on average, up to 10 times lower power consumption than other FPGAs, making them an ideal choice for power-constrained edge computing applications. Thank you. Back to you, Dan.
Thank you, Deepak. Last but not least is the size of the device, the one we dropped on the floor. It has to be very, very small. It has to fit in your application. So you can see here we have a 1 to 3 or 5x differences. We'll be showing these packages also at the Developers Conference. You can see it's very important to be physically there with the size on that low power. So next, it'd be great to hear from our customers. It's all about our customers. So what I'd like to do is share with you our customers on Nexus 2.
Congratulations for Nexus 2 release. 5G RU requires low power consumption and small form factor. I believe Nexus 2 is able to contribute to such RU performances. I'm really looking forward to continued development of the relationship between Lattice and Fujitsu. Congratulations again, Lattice team.
Congratulations to all our friends at Lattice on the launch of the new Nexus 2 platform. Combining Nexus 2 with its low power, small form factor, advanced security features, and connectivity like PCIe Gen 4 with our memory products allows us to build the next generation of platforms for our customers today.
Congratulations to all our friends at Lattice on the launch of Lattice Nexus 2 small FPGA platforms.
Congratulations to our friends at Lattice to the launch of new small FPGA platform Lattice Nexus 2. We are excited to see how we can push the boundaries of what FPGAs can do.
We and our customers are very excited to use this new Nexus 2 device with low power for powerful solutions.
Congrats to Lattice team on launching Nexus 2 FPGA. Let's push the limits of technologies together.
Congratulations to all our friends at Lattice on the launch of the latest Nexus 2 small FPGA platform.
We are very excited to see Lattice maintain its leadership in small FPGA solution for open compute projects.
Congratulations for this new technology step.
Lattice Nexus 2の発表おめでとうございます。小型 FPGA 仕様への新製品リリースを弊社としても大変喜ばしく思っております。
Cost-efficient FPGAs are essential in our design and in our intelligent automation systems. Congratulations to our friends at Lattice as they continue to invest in advanced FPGAs with the announcement of the Nexus 2 family.
Congratulations to all friends at Lattice on the launch of the Lattice Nexus 2 small FPGA platform.
It's great to hear from customers around the world and see those real demos on power efficiency, performance, the connectivity, and the security. So today it's all about you and the ecosystems we're going to talk about later today in the Developers Conference. We really appreciate all the ecosystem developers on our products and be able to use our tools. It's great to see the 3x, 5x, and 10x demos we were able to show you. Next, I'd like to call on Isam. And thank you.
All right, we're going to go on to the next phase of the keynotes, but first, 3 key takeaways I want you to take away from what you've heard this morning. One is it's a great time for programmability. More customers are using FPGAs, they're being used in more applications than ever before, and the ecosystem around Lattice is growing every year. Lattice is committed and will continue to invest in small and mid-sized FPGAs. We're committed to that innovation, and we're going to continue to bring out next-generation products into the market to help you solve your next challenges as you develop your next-generation systems.